My friends, today we're gonna tackle a wonderful dish to cook for your family. It is creamy, it's unctuous. We are doing the classic mushroom risotto. But we're not using your typical arborio rice. We're gonna do it with barley, mushroom barley risotto. This dish is super creamy. The idea behind the barley is to get that texture still in its way. So we're gonna start off by cooking down and sweating out some base ingredients, layering in some herbs, and then finishing by doing the technique of any risotto by layering in, ladle by ladle, that perfect amount of stock. By the end of it, we're just gonna finish off with that wonderful cheese, so when you serve the table with a little garnish on top, it's got the perfect creamy texture you are looking for. So to begin, my friends, we have some ingredients down here. We have our shallots, our garlic, our leeks, and we're just gonna finely chop that. We wanna get as much flavor out of these guys as possible, and to do that, you get them into a fine size. All right, getting our shallots just into a bowl. Gonna repeat the same with our wonderful garlic as well. And then of course, we've got ourselves a leek. Leek goes so well with all mushroom-based dishes, in my opinion. You can actually use that for stock. What we're gonna do here is just go down the center like that. Gonna create some time reduction by double slicing here. With our base ingredients all chopped up, it's time to sweat them out. So, medium-high heat, solid pan. Now you can go anything as long as it's wide, gives you enough surface area for evaporation of your barley, but also I want a little bit of depth there, so I want that creaminess not to run over the edge. So in goes some olive oil, then we're gonna add in these ingredients, let's let it in. Chucking in our leeks too. All right, just gonna give this a little stir. So whilst our lovely base ingredients are getting their sweat on, it's time to work on our mushrooms. We've got two different types today. We've got cremini and also beech, but you can have an array of whatever you have available. You can use shiitake, oyster, shimiji, anything you want. Just get a nice array of mushrooms. If you wanted to, just keep it all whole. Giving some attention back to our pan. We're looking for, say, your leek and your onion and garlic to be a little bit soft, sweaty, maybe a little golden tinge to them. Gonna season that with salt and pepper. Now, mushrooms are really thirsty, so we're gonna add in a bit more olive oil. All right, so olive oil into the pan, getting ready for our wonderful mushrooms. So first go in our beech, just simply because they're closer. So moving this around, getting a nice even coat on it. Just gonna sweat out the mushrooms as well. At that point, here we have rosemary. All right, I'm just gonna simply get that into here. We've also got thyme. Anytime I'm cooking with mushrooms, I love working with hard herbs. So like your rosemary, your thyme, even your sage. Okay, nice little mix, a little soft notion. Awesome, I'm gonna turn the heat up a little bit. So this here is your barley, all right? You can see that they kind of look like oats that have not been rolled. So these are gonna go straight into the pot right now. Okay, you're gonna coat them, making sure you get around all the oils, all the existing flavors. And you're gonna coat them. Now, this is where that wide set pan comes in, so making sure your pan's wide enough. And what I want you guys to learn is called agitating, okay? So at this moment on, we're gonna leave our spoon and put it down. We're gonna touch it. All right, we're just gonna agitate the pan. This is agitating. So, here's what's gonna happen. We're gonna add in some stock. Here we have some mushroom stock. To make it yourself, you essentially chuck pretty much everything you've seen today into a pot, boil it, skim the top, and then pass it off after about 6 hours. Pretty simple. For now, I'm just gonna add in enough to cover the initial surface, agitate, wait for it to fall away. I'm gonna repeat this process. What you're doing is you're making sure that you are not adding any more until the previous amount has been evaporated. Couple things here. There's a lot of starch around barley, so you wanna make sure if you're stirring it, you're doing it later on the process. If you stir too early, it's gonna create too much of a sticky situation. You wanna make sure you're stirring later in the piece. That's why you're agitating. So a little bit more, agitate, agitate, agitate. It's really important you're not seasoning at this point because adding salt can affect how well that barley absorbs the water. Now we've added in our mushrooms, we're just gonna add some acidity with our apple cider vinegar. All right team, it's now time to stir. So no longer agitating, I want you to get amongst and stir so you can get down the bottom, see what's going on, break up those beautiful barley little situations there. All right, now we can see here, the barley is still maintaining its integrity. It's not smashing. If we want to make this creamy, we could add in a little bit more olive oil, but I'm going to add in the cheese at this point in time. All right, time to have some fun with this bad boy. At this point, at the very end, you can now season with salt. Okay, so heat off. I'm just going to finish off with some lemon rind and then some lemon juice as well. Team, if you're looking at your barley, your pot of wonderful goodness right now like I am, you have a plate ready because you're excited to tuck in. All right, so grab yourself your plate and start serving. All right, so grab yourself some leafy goodness. I've got here some lovely little microbes. Just gonna squeeze a little bit of lemon juice over the top of that, some parmesan over the top, a crack of pepper, because you know I love that, and some olive oil too. That is my mushroom barley risotto. Super easy to do for a batch cook. So if you've got people coming over, it's perfect. So if you want the actual recipe, click the link below. It will take you to my website. We've got plenty of things on method, ingredients, other recipes for you to recreate at home. And if you want to watch more ways for you to cook at home, click the subscribe button. I'm DC. Time to tuck in.